What is shaking, y'all? It's your boy, Mark Cordone, episode 40, the Golden Mic Live. I bet you they thought I wasn't going to start screaming because I was so chill before we went on live. We are here with Quadratic Abrasion, Square Ruthless. They're going to be talking about the love story, the mother-daughter love story that is happened as a result of this little thing called roller derby. And so we're going to be talking about that. If you haven't met me, my name is Mark Cordone. I am a positive psychology coach. If you don't know what that is, don't worry about it. It comes down to two things. Are you doing things that you love? And are you doing things that make you feel fulfilled? So I'm going to ask you both, Quad and Ruthie, are you doing things that you love and making you feel fulfilled?
Yeah, I think so. Definitely.
I would hope so if you're doing roller derby.
Yeah. It's a lot of work otherwise.
Yeah. So for all of you who are watching live, watching the replay right now, if you're doing what you love and you're living fulfilled, come on, y'all. Put up your hearts. Give us some hearts. Show us that you're alive. Show us. There you go, Quad. Quad showing some life. Let me see you, Ruthie. Let me see you show some life. Make that heart beat. Make that heart beat. I love it. I love it. I love it. Now, the thing is like, a lot of people think that with positive psychology, it's all about like shits and giggles and Taco Tuesday every day. No, it's about ups and downs and all arounds of life. So if you're going through this phase right now and you're like, Cordone, I don't want to hear you yelling today. I don't know what fulfills me right now. I don't know what makes me happy. It's okay. Your heart is beating just like the rest of us. Just give us a thumbs up and let us know that you're alive. All right? Cool. Now here's the final thing. We've never had three people do this at once. So let's see if we can do this in unison here. Let's see if we can do this in unison. If you're optimistic about the future, if you're optimistic about tomorrow, Quad, if you're optimistic about the future, Ruthie, if you're optimistic about tomorrow, give me a big old wow face. Oh, that's the worst.
We make the same faces. So.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you one more shot. Give me a big old wow face.
Yeah, wow face.
Okay, that is actually perfect. That is actually perfect. Thank you so much. We got Molly McCarthy tuning in saying hi. Molly, good to see you. Let's get right to it. Now, Quad, your name was once Marie.
Mary, actually.
I know. Mary.
It's spelled
Mary. See, I haven't even said your name out loud to even say it right.
Yeah.
So your name was once Mary, and then you became Quad. What is your backstory here?
Well, I started skating. I was a newbie in fresh meat when I was finishing up grad school.
So what is fresh meat?
Fresh meat is the period where you train to be a roller girl. So if you're interested in playing a full contact sport that's super empowering for women and just a great community and awesome camaraderie, I highly encourage you to investigate the Atlanta Rollergirls. We're like an amazing community. I mean, I have diehard like ride or die friends from this. That my best friend, Switchblade Susie, and all the board members that we've all been through the ringer for the past few years, sales and all kinds of things. You know what it's like to try and run an organization, your own business. We're DIY. So yeah, I started. I was really, really curious about the whole environment. I mean, I went to a game. I was hooked. I decided to try out. I tried out, and when you try out, you become fresh. If you make it, you become fresh meat, and then you start a pretty arduous training regimen with them. So we train pretty hard, and the fresh meat get like sort of taken in by the roller girls. So when I was fresh meat, my class in particular, we all just used our regular names. We weren't talking about skate names really. That's kind of a rite of passage. But as the time got closer, I was getting closer to finishing my PhD in math, and one of my fellow fresh meat, her husband is a professor at Georgia Tech, and he came up with this amazing name that's a pun on the quadratic equation. So it stuck. I have a list of like 20 names, and I can't imagine taking any of those other names over this one. This is the name that embodies me. It's everything about my life with Atlanta Roller Derby.
So basically, once you get that name, is this a name that it basically becomes your new persona? Like it's not something normal to change names every season, is it?
No. I've only known of a couple people that change their names, and sometimes that's just out of like, oh, they didn't realize that name already existed, and they're getting, like somebody made the All-Stars and then realized that there was a different All-Star on a different team in Canada that had the same name, so she changed her name out of necessity. Sometimes people kind of like to reinvent themselves. That happened when I was really, really new. One of our skaters changed her name. But mostly people stick to this name because you really start to embody this whole persona that you are. I mean, you become roller derby.
And believe it or not, everybody, there is like a name registry out there.
Yeah.
So like you can go to a website, and I forgot the name of it. It's like 3 dogs or something like that. Two evils. .org.
Yeah.
So there's a
so like, I mean, roller
okay.
derby has grown tenfold since I started. Yeah. Like when I started, I think there were 200 leagues maybe, and now there are thousands. It's impossible to keep up with that kind of data set anymore. So, yeah.
Okay. And we just got more people saying hi. TC is saying hi.
Hi.
Coach Michael Faber, the host of a radio show on W Balls. I'm not joking. It's called W Balls. Good to see you, Coach Faber. Now, Quad, like, were you the type of person that growing up, like, you were prone to going after sports like roller derby, or was it
not at all? Well, so it didn't really exist when I was growing up, right? Like there was the '90s version that I remember watching on TV, but it was very
like
corporate.
The pro wrestling version.
Yeah. And it was right. It was that fake version. And that's all. Like I have the same questions everybody has when they first hear about roller derby. I met when I was in grad school. One of my good friends was dating a roller girl, and my very first question was, "Oh, what's that like? It's on a track. Like, do you guys get played on TV?" And I had all the same questions, and all the same like, "Isn't that fake?" Yada yada. And she schooled me on how incredibly athletic it is, how different it is these days, and the fact that we are skater owned and operated. Like that's a big thing. And like immediately, just hearing her energy when she was talking about it was already something that I was interested in. But this is actually my first team sport ever. I never played team sport growing up. Yeah, not at all. Not at all.
What was it that was your like what was it that like had you fall in love with it?
The fact that I have never seen a all-female full contact sport, right? Yeah. Like that. I'd seen maybe I'd heard of rugby, and there was a rugby team at Emory, but it wasn't something that I really saw. Okay. And it really was just like I said, listening to Ash Kicker was her name, listening to her talk about roller derby. And she had her PhD in psychology. She was working at Emory, and she was a smart, put together, assertive woman, like lots of things that I aspired to. And she like had such a dear love for roller derby. So, I mean, it's like I said, it's a group of women that do so much for each other. We're such a strong community that it was inevitable.
And it's very evident in the way that y'all are talking about this, and sort of the idea of community, and having been a person that's participated in the Atlanta roller derby community, I do remember going to my first ARG bout.
Yeah.
And being like, I'm going to be a fish out of water. I knew nothing. And I remember showing up, and one person like handed me a beer. I'm like, okay. Another person is like, puts her hand around me and is like, you obviously don't know anything about the sport. Sit with us.
Yeah.
We're going to tell you everything you need to know. That person's name is Cherry. She's like the team cat. And they're like, they went down the whole line of things.
Yeah.
And it's like, not only the people playing the sport, but the refs, go and watch the people who are taping the rink up. Like, look at the passion that they've got. Look at the people selling the t-shirts. Like, it is so intense. And it is such a tight community. And then the other thing I'm picking up, Quad, is like, you think that this is like this reckless motley crew of people, and the thing is you're not the only doctor in the league. Yeah. There's plenty of professionals in the league. It's not a hoodlum town.
No,
you know?
No. I think we had like my class alone had my class being the 11 skaters that were drafted at the end of our freshman period. We had 3 PhDs. So out of
that's
11,
unbelievable.
That's like, that's a crazy rate. And I know that we have others, and we have women from all walks of life. We have hairstylists. We have we have teachers. We have doctors, medical doctors. We have lawyers. We have accountants. We have literally. I don't think that there's a job that hasn't come through our ranks. So yeah,
life coach.
That's what. Yeah, sure. And I think that's one of the amazing things about our community and our network really is that when I was looking to transition and get out of academia, that I had a job immediately. Like I had lots of us have been in the same position where we just like we're like, hey sisters, like what's up out there? You know, what how about like I'm looking to do so and people like you've got 60 people that have your back and immediately are like, oh yeah, come here, you know.
That's so real. Now square ruthless, that's a math term too. Were you a part of academia as well? Were you what's going on? So tell us the backstory and the birth of Square Ruthless.
So my mom obviously has been playing derby since I was 16, and when she started playing, I wanted to play. Like I saw what she was doing, and I thought that was awesome. Like seeing women do things with their bodies that I wanted to play a full contact sport. I did play sports growing up, and there were no women. Like I wanted to play lacrosse, and then I found out there was no contact for girls, and I said, "Fuck that!" Like I wanted to play. Like I've always been ready to play derby. So when I was finally able to, and I was going to rec league, and then through the rec league, I moved up into the fresh meet. It was a lot harder when I tried out to make it than 10 years ago. So I tried out 3 times. It took 3 times, and then I finally made it all the way through.
Okay.
Yeah. And then when I was coming up, there was another name that I really wanted, but I instead decided to honor my mom and go with Square Ruthless because, I wanted to be the smaller of her. If it wasn't for her, I probably wouldn't have found derby. I would have been oblivious.
Oh, so Mom, how do you feel about sort of the reincarnation of your daughter in derby being named after basically you?
It's crazy. So I actually we talked about it a lot. We talked about her name a lot because I was like, please don't feel like that needs to be your name. I love it. Obviously, I love math as much as I love roller derby. So any math inspired name is fantastic as far as I'm concerned. It's also just a really nice story. And I think that the fact that her name is a derivative of mine and her number is the square root of my number. Both those things kind of lead into the way I feel about roller derby, which is it's the kind of community, it's the kind of hobby, it's the kind of life, and it's the kind of passion that I feel like is worthy of my daughter inheriting. So that's to me everything. Like I the lifestyle that we have acquired because of Derby, the camaraderie, the friendship, the like the support network, the network alone, it would be impossible for me to find a better community to instill in my daughter. So I feel very passionately about that, and that I wouldn't let her be part of another community that wasn't as strong as ours. And
sure.
I didn't have the opportunity of having a junior skater. She was already too old when we started our juniors program. But I think that I see the same thing with people like Queen, Lucia Tifa and her daughter, and like we have lots of Tagger Lily and her daughter, Hate Ashbury and her daughter. Like, I love seeing that same idea that we all love this sport and community so much that we know that we want our daughters to be empowered through this same community. I just have the fortune of having an adult daughter who can actually be on the team as me, and we get to play together, and we get to scrimmage together or against each other sometimes or whatever.
Yeah. So talk to me about this. Talk to me about what it's like to sort of be in the same competitive space with each other, because I do know that you play on the same team, the Toxic Shocks.
We do.
Yeah.
And on the same travel team. So like we never have to competitively play against each other, which is great.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's great and it's different.
Yeah.
Okay. And is that by choice or was that randomly drafted?
I was not a captain when she got drafted. So
okay.
Our original choice was to not be on the same team.
Yeah,
we talked about it a lot, and we both in the beginning said like, no, like I don't think I want to be on the team with you. I think it'll be weird. I think it'll be, I don't know. I might like, I don't. It just felt like maybe not. Maybe we're not that close, or maybe we're not ready for that.
Yeah. Yeah, and I will say, like, when she was coming up through, like, once she finally got her scrimmage eligibility, when she started scrimmaging with the league, because doing drills and, like, working out, doing drills, all that stuff, that's all very different than actually getting on the track and having to hit each other in competition, right?
Right.
So once she actually started scrimmaging, I remember the first time that she got on the track, and it was not on my team. And I don't think that I had a problem hitting her. That wasn't the issue. It was when other people were hitting her, and I was like, I don't know. I feel like I'm like, hey, that hits too hard or whatever. And it's stupid because she's way tougher than I am. So like, there's no doubt that she can take everything and give it right back. But at the time, I was still like feeling that out. And definitely there have been some mental blocks to get over where we have to treat each other like teammates and mutual players as opposed to mother-daughter. Yeah. I will say that when something's going on the track and I hear Mom, I hear that way over anybody calling me Quad. Yeah. So
I noticed for the first time when we were playing against each other, I think it was a few times into scrimmage. So it wasn't like right when I first started scrimmaging, but we were not on the same team, and I realized she stopped. She watched me. She watched me like jam, and I was like, we can't. I don't know if we could be on opposite teams. Yeah,
I stopped playing. I feel like everybody has seen me do this. I stopped playing because I'm also, well, so like I tend to coach people that I care about, and like all of the people that I care about know that, and I will give them tips and feedback. I feel like I'm a better coach than I am a player, actually. But also, it's one of those things where I was like, I'm trying to play the game, but I also want to celebrate everything that she's going through at the time. And so she was having success, and I was like, oh, look at my baby. Like, that's really what it turned into. I was like, and I still do it. And it's been, a year and a half, but I still, at scrimmages now, I'm like, okay, I'm going to scrimmage on the days that she's not there so that I can actually like full out scrimmage.
Oh, it's the joys of motherhood. Now, Ruthie, do you ever feel the same way? Like, whether now or before you were playing on the same team, just as a spectator watching your mom, was it hard sometimes to see her take some big hits.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Recently, we were scrimmaging, and I think it was like her first jam in, and it was a weird, like, it just happened out of nowhere, and she fell backwards, and her head hit the ground, and I like ran out there. I was like, I have to go. Well, I didn't even know if the jam had been called yet. I was like just already out there, and I mean, I know she's done it. I've seen her call a jam off before when I'm like on the ground, like, no, I just needed a second.
Yeah.
Like,
Definitely.
And they don't call penalty. That's not a penalty, is it? Like for something.
So the incident she's talking about was just like I've had a couple concussions, and I'm super cognizant of not having. We both have the same limit. Like a third concussion means retirement.
Yeah.
I have heard this from the two of you before.
Yeah. It's funny that she has the same role that I do, but mine, and she's had one also. She had one in her first Jukes game or second Jukes game, something like that. So it's not unusual. We have several teammates that are suffering from concussions right now, but this just happened to be like a weird thing. It wasn't even a penalty worthy hit or anything. Like something, my feet just came out from under me. And, you know, sometimes we forget that we're on like
wheels,
rolly shoes. Like our friend, my daughter-in-law, her derby wife, one of her derby wives calls them rolly shoes. And yeah, we forget sometimes that like those aren't as stable as being on your feet. So maybe don't move a certain way.
Yeah.
And
right on.
Yeah.
When I was younger and watched her play, I would sit and know like where you could sit for the 18 and up, and I would scream and pound the ground, and like I would throw temper tantrums. People would look at me like, I can't believe that child is cursing. Like,
oh, you were that daughter.
Oh yeah. I don't know if she heard me ever, but I was definitely yelling things crack at everybody.
Yeah.
I was always pretty involved in the games. I wanted to like be in the action and yelling at her.
Yeah, the halftime talks that I've gotten from her usually involve things like, what is going on out there? Why is that happening? So sorry. We also have.
Oh, no worries. No worries. So let's talk a little bit about. Okay, so like you're using words like derby wives, fresh meat. Like there are so many different like inside, like sort of insider when you're in the team that you do. I don't even know what like a mother-daughter would do. Like, do you guys have like matching tattoos or anything?
Oh, hey, we do.
Oh,
you do?
Yeah. Well,
no.
Well, hold on. If we do it this way.
No shit.
Yeah.
Okay, hold it up a little bit higher so everyone can see.
This is
unbelievable.
This is mother-daughter tattoo number 2 or 3? 4. Oh, just kidding, 4. We have
number 4.
Yeah, we have several matching mother-daughter tattoos. Like we have
Okay. So are they purely mother-daughter, or are some of them related to derby?
Well, that one was after she made fresh meat and started scrimmaging. And we went to Phil Colvin in Memorial. He's awesome. And we had this idea of, he's tattooed a lot of the Rollergirls, and we had this idea of like maybe having a skate with a shoelace spelling out like mother, like daughter. And then we just like kind of changed it, like as you do when you get tattoos. Like we went with some advice from Phil, and like we adapted it to look better. But the original idea was to have a roller skate spell out, like those shoelaces spell out like mother, like daughter.
Right.
Because, you know, at that point we knew.
You are unbelievable. You are unbelievable. That is fantastic. Okay, so let me ask you this then.
Yeah.
And this is for you, Quad. How has roller derby made you a better mom?
Oh my God. Oh, I have so many answers to this, actually. So the first thing that comes to mind is that I believe pretty strongly in having a diverse group of friends, right? And I think that Ruthie or Nicole has gotten exposure. She's gotten exposure that she wouldn't have had outside of roller derby. We're such an incredibly inclusive group. And like you mentioned, your first experience, how accepting we are of everyone and anyone. We welcome people with open arms. And I think that she has had the opportunity to be around a group of people that I couldn't have provided without roller derby, right? Just all kinds of people. I mean, I have a pretty diverse set of friends, but nothing like the 60 women that she gets exposure to, right? So I think that that's thing number one. Thing number two is talking to other parents through roller derby. Like a lot of us, the lifestyle that we lead because of roller derby, it's a full-time job. I mean, that's part of the indoctrination that you get when you are fresh meat. You're told, hey, by the way, this is going to be at least 20 hours a week of your life, if not more. And like, we all have to support each other. So all the mothers in the league support each other, and we all we would bring them to practice. She would come to practice with me. Yeah.
All the time.
And she would actually often act as a babysitter for other people with other younger children because she was already a teenager. So, I think the like sound room or the like sounding board that you get of the other mothers in the league, it just helps expose you to like a lot of parenting styles, a lot of parental advice, and just how to deal with that kind of life, you know? So those two things, like having a great group of women to expose her to, especially given that she's a woman herself. So, and having like all the extra advice that I probably wouldn't have had. And I think that like in no small part, the stress relief that you get from roller derby helps not take it out on your kid when your like naughty 17-year-old is driving you crazy, for instance. Yeah. So, yeah, it's great. The stress release alone is like, it helps me be a better professor, a better mother, a better wife, all of it.
The stress relief is fantastic.
I know, it's so great. It's great. Safely hitting people is great.
So Nicole, I have the same question for you flipped over. How has roller derby made you a better daughter?
Oh, I don't know necessarily that it has. Like, I don't mean that in a weird way, but like she gave it to me, so I don't think like that I necessarily have. I don't know. I just don't think that. I think it's more that she gave me this present, and I definitely appreciate us both being in it, and I think that I learned a whole lot more from it. And she also, I had a really like rough time in life. That derby helps you work through like any bad times in life, and that's more of what I think. I think she helped me more than anything.
Yeah, I think that our communication is 1,000% better. I mean, there's for sure, like, you have to be a good, transparent, and open communicator in roller derby, or you are going to have relationships fester. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's an organization of volunteers. So I think that she's selling herself short a little bit, like, in that she's become a much better communicator. I think that like, it's helped her business. It's helped, like, it's helped us. And like, I think that having a mutual passion and mutual friends and sometimes mutual enemies, like that kind of thing. I think that our communication is so much stronger because of it.
So is it really like that where you'll take a couple elbows from somebody and the next day you're like, yeah, it's totally cool. It's totally cool.
Elbows though. So there's that. Right.
I'm sorry.
Oh, so elbows are illegal. So not.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. The elbows are illegal.
Yeah, taking an elbow is maybe not the kind of thing that I would be like, no, it's cool.
It's been a while.
But yeah, there's a lot. Like, honestly, I think we both have the same attitude about this. We both respect people that go hard into the paint. Like I think that we both really respect people that work hard, play hard, you know? I mean, that's our, like, both are in awe of our all-star team for that reason. And our B team and our C team. Like, we're both on the C team. Like, we both really respect people that put so much time and effort into this. Yeah. And that's me at like towards the end of my Derby career saying that. I still, man, I mean, I know I've worked hard in my day, but like even now that I'm old and tired, I really am like, girl, I don't know how you're doing it. So I think that like we both have that same idea. So if you take a hard hit, like we all know who everybody in ARG knows who the hard hitters are and when they're going to come at you. And a lot of times it's in our last home game, I had a couple people kind of coming at me pretty hard. And I'm like, that's actually kind of a compliment because that means that I'm doing stuff that they need to make me stop doing.
Right.
So,
right.
Gotcha.
Same with her as a jammer. I mean, we played different positions. So as a jammer, I mean, you can speak to that. Like, do you ever take any of those hits personally?
It depends. I'll be honest. It depends on like head hits. I get angry about. I can't help it. I see red when I get hit in the head, no matter if it was on purpose or not. So I'll start yelling, but I don't. I yell and run away. I don't stay and yell. Yeah, I'll be skating by like fuck you and keep going.
That's exactly that is a penalty.
Yeah, but like it'll be more like that was my head, and I'll keep going. So like I'll be angry and yelling, but I don't think about it like it's not something that will fester for me. I get it out right then, and then I'm over it. Like it's not something I'll hold on to. I don't hold grudges because I know a lot of times it's not on purpose. I'm 4'9". It's really hard to not hit me in the head at this point.
Yeah, same 4'10". So yeah, I think that we're the same that way. We're both very upfront with our feelings, and like once it's out, it's out. Like that's.
And I would assume that's a very healthy way to play Derby and also to live life because everything resets again. Everything resets, and if you carry it over to the next thing and you're getting more and more heated, it can get really tough to play all out when you got shit stuck in your head. So I want to ask you, Quad. You were hinting at retiring. Have you? I'm not asking when or anything like that, but the fact that you're hinting at retiring is at least saying to me that you're thinking about life after Derby.
Yeah.
Right. Have you thought, like, imagined what life after Derby is like? And for those of you who haven't played Derby, when they went and said it takes up more than 20 hours of your life, you literally are consumed by Derby. Like it's really you're thinking Derby. Like I remember when I was at work, I'd like be like hip checking like the walls and stuff like that. Like everything was Derby.
Eat, sleep, breathe, Derby.
Yeah, you eat, sleep, and everything. So have you thought about what that's going to look like post retirement?
Yeah. I vacillate a lot on this. I swore that last year was going to be my last year because it was my 10th season and it was the first season that we got to play together. And I figured go out on a high. And then I had a really great year. I had a really great time. I kind of took it a little bit. Honestly, I took Derby a little less seriously because she was starting to take it more seriously. So I backed off a little. And it turns out that like because I relaxed a little, I had more fun with it. And it became kind of a fun year. Plus, I'm vice president, or I got voted into being vice president. So I was like, well, I guess I don't want to do the board work without doing the skating part. That's fun. So while I thought last year was going to be my last year, I changed my mind, decided to keep skating. My husband has been joking that maybe I should just keep going till I'm 50, which is next year. It's possible. Our president, Rudy Chaos, says everybody retires in May because it's like the mid-season for us, and we're all kind of tired, especially president, vice president, and all our board members. We've had a really busy year. And so if you were to ask me, like, if the deadline were tomorrow, I'd be like, yeah, I'm pretty good. And I have actually pictured it. Yeah, so if you were asking me, like, okay, you have to decide by tomorrow, I would say, yeah, I'm retiring, but maybe I'll be more nostalgic at the end of the season. I don't know. But I have thought about it. I have definitely thought about what it would be like to get some of that time back. I won't get all of it back because I will always be heavily involved. I will always volunteer. I will probably officiate. I will hopefully coach. And I'll just always be involved. I'll probably be what we call an active retiree and show up with my skates every once in a while.
Um,
So it's a different type of engagement.
Yeah, it's just the pressure will be different. Like it won't be like, okay, I have to also do, I mean, for people out there that don't know, like we also have to do all our own marketing, all our own PR, all of our own, like everything. We run the bouts ourselves. So when you retire, that stuff starts to go away and you get to just skate when you want to. Like my friend Switchblade Susie, she's a retiree and she is currently organizing a retiree team. And I played with that team and, you know, you get all the fun parts, which is like just playing in a game and scheduling like games. And then that's it. No other, like no marketing, none of the other stuff. And it, like that part I have pictured having some of the pressure taken off, but
you kind of earned it, right? And Nicole, last year was your first year. This, you know, your C team now, Rising Star. What are your goals?
God, like end goal, like for real.
Yeah, like end goal. Like, what's your dream come true?
The top. I wanna be on, like, if this is like dream goal, like kind of, you know, shooting for the stars here, but Team USA would be so exciting. That's like super exciting. But DSTG one day, hopefully. Bees are coming up on my list. I'm trying.
Now DSDG is the Dirty South Derby girls. And it's the
all-stars. I mean, they're amazing. There's so many amazing skaters on there. I look up to so many of those women. Like, I mean, I've looked up to Aphrodite since I was 16, 17. She's so awesome. She's little. She's strong. It's exactly what I've always wanted to be, you know?
I don't think I've seen anyone move laterally like that in my life.
She's crazy. She's crazy.
Yeah.
One day.
Defies gravity.
She had a pretty awesome scrimmage last night where so it was the B team that I was coaching against everybody else. And so that 18 players. Yeah. And just every time, I mean, I think that they finally were like, we can't let her jam anymore because it just makes everybody else feel bad.
Yeah,
and what's funny is that she's also one of the nicest people, which is, you find that a lot. Some of our biggest stars are also some of the most humble, and she's a lovely person. But on top of that, like, just especially for her size, like her weight to strength ratio doesn't make any sense. She's so
it doesn't make sense. It's magic. It's magic.
Yeah.
Now, if y'all have not seen a roller derby bout live and in person, you have to go. You have to go. And if you are anywhere near the Atlanta area, there's a bout coming up this weekend, right?
Yeah. Saturday. So, Saturday the 19th, we have two public bouts. The first bout is at 5 p.m., and that's the Rumblebees versus the Tampa Brews Crew, which is their B team.
Exciting.
Yeah, so that's two B teams playing each other, and those are both top 10 ranked B teams. So the Atlanta Rumblebees finished their season out last year. We went to Bees Championships and finished out number 5. So we've been in the top 5 3 years in a row. The second game is the Atlanta Dirty South Derby. No. Bay Area. It is against Bay Area. I'm officiating. I'm trying to not know what the teams are. So I'm trying to be impartial and not remember who the teams are. But it's our A team playing another A team. They're similarly ranked. So everybody that DSCG is playing this weekend is similar in rank. So they're all going to be highly competitive games, and they're all travel team games. So we've got, I think, 4 teams traveling to Atlanta to play in what we call Tiny Tourney, which is a small tournament, a small invitational. So it's just tons of fun. Camera D is invited to all the games, and then the 5 o'clock and 7:30 games where you're selling tickets for the public. So there's still tickets, but I know they start to go fast at this point. So
the tickets go fast, y'all. I've got a link on this site right now. So click on it. I believe the link is atlantarollergirls.com.
Yeah.
Does that sound familiar?
Yeah. It's
Yep.
So on our main page, there's a link right there where it says buy tickets, but also there's I think
and
actual page.
Okay. So do you want me to change that link afterwards,
No.
or you want me to? Okay.
What you have is great.
So the cool thing is that not only are you going to see the Rumblebees in action against Tampa, 2 top 10 teams, but you're going to see DSDG, who is traditionally a powerhouse.
Yeah.
Play. So like, I mean, if you ever watch things like the WIFTA national tournament, you see Atlanta always playing. They're always in the top 20. They start getting up to 8, 9. What's the highest they've been?
They've broken the top 10.
They broke. Okay.
Yeah, they did. They broke the top 10 and went to champs a few years ago. Actually, when we hosted champs, but they have been in the top 20 as long as I can remember. I mean,
yeah.
I think but the very first year I started skating, they weren't in the top 20, and they broke that pretty quickly and have been internationally competitive ever since. Yep. That's the way our travel teams break down. The A team is an internationally competitive team. The B team is nationally competitive, so they play people from all around the U.S. And then our C team plays regionally, so our C team tends to play regional A teams.
And remember, everybody, these are all nationally ranked folks.
Yeah.
And they're volunteering. They're volunteering. I mean, this is like blood, sweat, hustle, and passion at its best right here. So definitely check them out. Quad, Ruthie, stick around for 1 second. I want you both to imagine right now. This is why they call the show the Golden Mic, right? I want you to imagine a golden mic coming down from your ceiling, and hopefully your dog won't go and try to bite it, right? And that golden mic resides in between the two of you. And for 1 minute, this golden mic translates into every language all across the world. And so for 1 minute, Quad, you get to say whatever you want to the world.
Oh my gosh.
And then I'm gonna give the golden mic over to Ruthie.
Okay.
And you get to say whatever you want to the world, all right?
Yeah.
So, Quad.
Oh man.
Your golden mic goes live now.
I think that some of the stuff that you opened with is what I like to bring to the world, which is follow your passion, follow your love, and live life. Like, I wish that people would just do that. And honestly, a lot of the stuff that's going on in the world today would probably diminish. I've had a rough year with some of the stuff that's going on, right? Like, I think we all have. And I think that if people could just be more passionate and more empathetic, that we would have so much easier of a time as a universe. Yeah. So follow it, follow that dream, follow that passion.
1 for 1. That's Quad. All right, we're gonna switch it over to Ruthie now. Ruthie, what do you got?
To top that, I would say roller derby's going to save the world. First of all, I really think that just find something like that, right? Like, I think she's right. I think we see eye to eye on a lot of things. Obviously, we play roller derby together, and I think being close with a family member is also like awesome. The track's not going to be the same when she's not there.
No.
I always hear her on the track. I hear a lot of things on the track, but I definitely always hear her. And we've had our teammates laugh at us because she's mommed me through the track before, but it works. I mean, that's something I'll hear forever, and just, I don't know, love each other. That's what I would say. That's the biggest thing.
2 for 2. 2 for 2. I can only hope that those of you who are mothers and daughters have had the special privilege of sharing moments like Quad and Ruthie get to share on a regular basis through roller derby. Obviously, roller derby is a big deal to them, but there's something more transcendent that's going on there, and it really does come down to the love between a mother and a daughter. And it was awesome to see roller derby, sort of that thing that people think is like people elbowing each other and people losing teeth over, really solidifying this relationship. Are we gonna see a grand roller derby baby coming into the scheme?
Oh God. Yeah, we don't. I have a
is it a fur baby? Is it just a fur baby?
We have a grand puppy. I've been watching him. He's actually been out of town all weekend, so I have a grand puppy. Right here. He's a fat little guy.
Oh, it's cute.
So he's my grandbaby right now. We don't really, honestly, like, I've hoped that I've raised up a woman that feels like she can find her value in a lot of different ways, and we don't really actually talk about whether or not she is going to have kids or whether or not she's like where she finds her fulfillment. So I mean, I'm not going to lie, I will. The way I spoil this thing, she'll end up with a monster baby if she has one. I'll spoil it so badly, but yeah, like we kind of live life.
Yeah, well, I think the awesome thing is that like status quo and blueprints aren't something that really pressure y'all to make decisions. And I think that's super awesome. So y'all, I know that both of you are going to be at the game, the bouts this weekend. I highly encourage you. Jorge, Ritu, Michael Faber, TC, Molly, for those of you who are watching the replay, pick up some tickets, pick up an extra ticket for your friend, pick up a ticket for your mom, and go out and watch the bouts. And even if you've never seen one before, watch the magic when someone comes up to you and explains the game. It's that type of community. Go out and see it. Have a great time. Quad, Ruthie, I miss seeing you guys on a regular basis. I miss sweating with y'all. Yeah. Hopefully one day I'll get back to Atlanta again, and I can't wait to see you.
Come back anytime.
Thank you. It's awesome. It's awesome to see you all. Again, my name is Mark. My final question for you is, if you're feeling good and you're living life to your full fulfillment, then what is your responsibility to the greater good? I will see you soon. This has been another great episode of The Golden Mic. See you soon, y'all. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.